would repeal wage withholding and have everybody pay by check at the end of the week or the end of the month, believe me, this would have ended a long time ago. But instead, what they do is they tax us to the maximum, then they borrow to the maximum, and then they print to the maximum. But the debt is coming due, and that's what's happening. That's why the standard of living is going down. Real wages are down. Middle-class people are hurting right now, more so than they want to admit in Washington. They want to say, well, there's no inflation because we don't count energy and food. Well, we'll exclude, though, and the inflation rate's not so high. But the free market calculation of inflation on prices is closer to 10%, not to 2%. But that's why people are upset and annoyed, and of course I think it's one of the reasons why young people are flocking to the campaign, because at least, but since 1913, this has been one of the vehicles to finance war. And currently, we are once again doing exactly what we did in the 60s. In the 60s, it was claimed there's no sweat. American people are prosperous and wealthy. We can have guns. We can have all the prosperity. We can have all the welfare. The government can take care of everybody. And we can have all the guns and the shooting and the killing and lose 60,000 men. It's no big deal, they claim. And yet, the price had to be paid. Matter of fact, the price was paid for in the 1970s, and it was a period of time which motivated me to run for politics. It was after the decline and the disintegration of the Bretton Woods Agreement, the breakdown, the last vestige of the gold standard, which prompted me to run for Congress. The 70s were rough. The standard of living went down, inflation skyrocketed, interest rates went to 21%, and the dollar nearly totally collapsed in 79 and 80. Things are worse right now, and we have to understand it, and we have to know what to do. We cannot continue to finance this foreign militarism around the world any longer. When you add up everything we spend overseas, not just the DOD budget, which is separate from the war budget, when you add it all up, it's nearly $1 trillion that we're spending overseas. Let me tell you, we could slash that greatly. 50%, 70%, who knows what. We could really slash that budget, and it wouldn't hurt our defense posture one bit. Matter of fact, we would be a stronger nation. We would have less threats. We would have a stronger military. Everybody knows that I was very much on the record many, many years before the war started. The Iraq Liberation Act was passed in 1998. I spoke out strongly then, and year after that, warning about the war that was coming. And now they say to me, when the media ask me a question, they say, yeah, we know you're against it. We know you're there. But what are you going to do about it now? Well, a few weeks ago, I gave a talk, and the title of the talk was very simple. We just marched in, we can just march out. And they put this in holy terms, like we are doing God's work by going legislative branch as well as the judicial branch. They all have so little respect for the rule of law. So if we look to our problems and say, how did we get into this mess? We come up with the idea, well, first, we have economic problems because we don't follow the Constitution on money or on free market economy. Why are we being so abused on our personal liberties? Because everybody seems to be so frightened. Anything the government does, if they're going to make us safer, we're going to sacrifice our liberties. It's that careless attitude and ignoring the Constitution and the Fourth Amendment and the many other amendments. And likewise, we have not followed a foreign policy that is placed in the Constitution, which the founders told us to follow, and that is to stay out of these affairs. Now, if the answers are there, the solutions aren't that difficult. If we recognize why we're in this mess, all we have to do is put people in office who really believe and understand what the Constitution says, and that you believe will stand up and stand for the Constitution. You know, once we as a people allow the government to assume the responsibility of individuals or of the economy, if it's up to the federal government to make us better people or make the economy more fair or make the world safe for democracy, they can make the attempt. It never works. It's always foolhardy. But the one real evil in this is they can't do any of that without taking away your liberties and taking away your money. That's why it has to be rejected. We were introduced to this fantastic idea of individual liberty. And a lot of people will accuse me of saying, well, you're going back to the Dark Ages. Hardly so. The ideas of liberty are very, very new in the history of the world. And it's very new. It was really only well tested in this country. It's this modern, meager testing of liberty, which has been fantastically successful, that we have rejected. And we have rejected. And what we represent now are those who want to revive this and say that we do believe in liberty. We do trust the individual. We don't want to be taken care of by the government. We don't want the government to force our will on other people. And the answers can be found. The answers are right there. But I tell you what, if they hear our voice, it's going to happen. They got to hear us. We have a lot of problems. Our civil liberties have been violated, but we still live in a great country. We still can have rallies like this. Sometimes we have to work at it, but we still can have rallies, and we still have a way to get our message out. Maybe the three majors might not give us as much time. They might not give us as much time on the debates, but the vehicles are there. There's radio talk shows, and there's internet, and there's all kinds of ways that this message can come out. So it isn't so much that we can't do it. It depends on our enthusiasm for it, and it also depends on the message. If it's a true message, if it's worth fighting for and worth spreading, it will happen, and we have to believe that.
Absolutely electric.
I'm not sure I can think up a better line to end my speech. So. But it is very easy to conclude that there's every reason for us to continue the fight and be enthusiastic. And the other rule that I have as you join in and participate in this wonderful event is that we have to have fun doing it. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. We don't know what will happen to our country. We do know that if we do nothing, we know what the results will be, and they won't be good. But in the meantime, meet up all you can, get together, and enjoy yourselves, and we should enjoy, because when you work with people who are like-minded, even though we work with each other and we're like-minded, we're all very diverse. There's all kinds of people, I'm sure, in this. Probably some people here that aren't Republicans. There are probably some people here that are independent. Probably some people who are Democrats, for all we know. There may even be an anarchist here or two. And everybody's lifestyle may be different. This is the wonderful thing about the Constitution and freedom. It brings people together because we're not... We're not going to be judgmental and tell other people how to live and what to do, and it's them together because we don't have to vie for it. We don't have to go to Washington and be participating in that. I have a little bumper sticker. If anybody's been to my office, and the bumper sticker on my desk says, "Don't steal. The government hates competition." So in our movement, we're not competitive. We're not competitive with each other. We work together for one goal, and that is for liberty and for the greatness of this country. Thank you very much.
Electricity, smiles on every face, hope in every eye. Ron stepping off the stage now, shaking hands, being greeted.
And we hope you'll stand strong for the principles of liberty and the Constitution. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you. People are gathering around to shake his hand. Hi, folks. My name is Steven Vincent, and I have a show, The Freedom Message, broadcast live. We've been broadcasting this, streaming live to thousands of Ron Paul supporters across the country.